What we believe, what I believe is we move from a pandemic state, from a pandemic situation to an endemic situation. Normal market forces, normal market conditions will start to kick in. And factors like efficacy, booster ability, clinical utility will, basically become very important. And we view that as, quite frankly, a significant opportunity for our vaccine from a demand perspective, from a pricing perspective.
In the first half of 2021, Pfizer has already made $11.3 billion in revenue. This represents an absolutely massive amount of money that comes amid a global pandemic where people around the world are still struggling to get access to the vaccine. As you may know, other countries around the world push for a patent waiver so that generic vaccines could be made immediately. But no, the World Trade Organization came in and said that they weren't going to offer a patent waiver for the vaccine, so that countries would be forced to try and get access through one of the few companies that have developed vaccines, one of them being Pfizer. Now that we're over a year into the pandemic, Pfizer's already talking about jacking up the price for the vaccine. And they're talking about using boosters as an opportunity to increase their profits. As billions of people around the world are still waiting to be vaccinated, Pfizer is talking about extracting as much money as it can from giving Americans a potential booster shot instead of actually focusing on getting everybody on the planet vaccinated and stopping coronavirus. I mean, this is really the problem, and this is why we should have done the patent waiver in the first place. We should have allowed generic development of these vaccines around the world because we needed to vaccinate everybody, not just the United States, if we actually wanted to stop this pandemic. And as you can see from this clip, representatives are already trying to think of how they could make a patent waiver more difficult.
His Stronger Act, introduced with Senator Tom Cotton and others, would have significantly strengthened IP protections for property owners. In fact, he actually said that the coronavirus pandemic was a teachable moment when it comes to US patents, because he believes that we need to strengthen them.
This speaks to the unbelievable evil of the capitalist system that we have today, where the fundamental truth is that these companies don't even really develop these drugs in the first place, and then they turn around and sell these drugs for huge amounts of money to the American public. If you look at Pfizer, for example, most of the drugs that are developed by Pfizer are actually developed by either other companies that it purchases or by public research universities. Most of the research that Pfizer does is just simply buying out smaller companies that actually do on-the-ground research and develop things. Once Pfizer finds out that those medicines work, Pfizer buys out the company and then sells it for a huge profit. So when they tell you that the cost of drugs are so high because of the cost of development, they are lying to you. What they also leave out is that very often public universities will bring a pharmaceutical to near completion, then Pfizer will come in, take the last bit of effort, and then claim that they had developed the entire thing. They use these government subsidies, both direct and indirect, to effectively eliminate their research and development costs, and then turn around to the public and say, oh no, don't worry, we're charging you tons of money because we did all this research and development. And it's just fundamentally a lie. The only reason Pfizer played any significant role in developing the coronavirus vaccine is because it wanted to do a PR campaign. It wanted to look good and be the superhero coming in at the last minute. And it also knew that we would need to vaccinate basically everybody around the world. And another company, if they got the contract, might be able to make a profit before Pfizer was able to. So thank you, Pfizer. I hope the profits from preventing generic drug producers from making your vaccine was worth all the lives it cost. This is Ben Carollo with Rebel Headquarters. You can catch my show Galaxy Brain on the Young Turks Twitch channel every Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern Time. You can also follow me on Twitter if you want to stay up to date with my content.